Good morning. Welcome to Gentle Yoga. Let me just make sure I'm sorted out here. If you can't hear me, let me know. And otherwise, we're going to start in just a seated position on our mats. Go ahead and make sure to grab a towel or blanket if you want something to sit on. If you want something to help you stretch, yoga strap or towel. Go ahead and grab that, and then we'll just take our time just getting down to our mats. Make sure my camera is good here. And yeah, go ahead and just come to a seated position. Start to ground down through the sit bones, pressing into that foundation. Rock kind of from side to side. Feeling those sit bones, glutes, just kind of grounding down, releasing into the mat. I'm just kind of sitting on something, even if you want an extra blanket. Sometimes just really helps you lengthen, create that length of that in the spine. Especially days if you're tired or if you just feel like your core's not really strong. Just gonna take our hands to our knees softly and just grow up from the hips, lengthen through that crown of the head. We're gonna take those shoulders up to the ears and then just drop them. Gently close the eyes. And go ahead and take that awareness inward to your breath. Filling up that belly, expanding that rib cage, expanding those lungs, and exhaling from the lungs and then pulling that navel in. So we're filling up that belly first and filling up the lungs, breathing all the way to the top of that head, and then exhale from the top of the head down to the tailbone. Imagine those waves of breath, pushing that belly button out on the inhalation. On the exhalation, pulling that navel in. And just focus on those breaths. We're gonna take some rounds, just let those breaths bring you into the present moment. Just start to make you feel calm, centered. Really challenging all four sides of that rib cage to open up. And the exhalation, just letting go of any worries, to-do lists for the next hour. And the inhalation, lifting up through that pretend string in the crown of your head, just lifting up, lengthening through that spine. Exhalation, letting those shoulders release away from the ears. Just keep focusing on that breath. Just a few more rounds. Just really letting that exhalation let you feel connected to that mat, growing up from that foundation. And the exhalation, grounding down. Imagine that tailbone has a silver cord connected to it that's pulling you into the center of the earth, making you feel grounded. helping you feel centered. And on the next inhalation, we're going to gently open the eyes. Just blink a few times. Roll those shoulders back a few times. And then forwards. Inhale, lengthen. And exhale, bring that chin down to that chest. Just lengthen through the back of that neck. And you're going to gently bring that right ear over to that right shoulder. Just gently roll. Really careful with the neck. Nothing should pinch or hurt. And gently just rolling that left ear to that left shoulder. Maybe just a few more times, just rolling that neck. Gentle stretch. Just being aware of all the muscles in the neck. How do they feel? We're still lifting up of that tailbone. Strong through that core. And come back to center. We're gonna inhale and just look up towards the ceiling. You don't have to look all the way up. Maybe just up at an angle, or if that feels okay on your neck. Lengthening through that throat. Exhale. Bring those hands out in front of you, or just walk those forward. So feeling that heaviness through the hips. Breathe into any tight areas in the hips and then just coming to where you're at. Lengthen through the back of the neck. Grounding down through the sit bones, through the hips. Pressing those palms into the mat. Taking our awareness to our breath, always noticing what our breath is doing. Into the belly. If you're holding any tension in your face, release. Let that tongue be loose in your mouth. Those cheeks soften. And we'll walk those hands over to the right. We're reaching to those left fingertips. Opening through that left side of the body, the hip, the shoulder, creating space here. Still lengthening through the back of the neck. Heavy through those hips. And breathe. Nice, deep, even breaths. Come back to center. Then we'll walk over to the other side, reaching to those right fingertips. Opening to the right side of the body. Feeling that opening in the hip, the shoulder. And walk those hands back to center. And just walk back, walk hands back. We're gonna sit up. From here, we're going to reach that right arm up. Reach, reach, reach. We'll take that left arm up. Interlock those fingers. We're gonna press up towards the ceiling. From here, we're gonna drop that right hand. Just grab that right elbow. We're lengthening from that right hip all the way up to the right elbow. And release. We'll shake out the arms a little bit. We're gonna inhale back up. Drop that left hand. We'll grab that left elbow. Lengthening. Really reaching up through that left elbow. And release. Shake out those arms. We're gonna reach out to the sides. We feel as if somebody's pressing those palms to the back of the room. We'll give ourselves a hug. Get that right arm on the top. Pull those shoulders down. Gently tuck the chin. Breathe into the belly. And then we're going to move that right elbow to the inside of that left elbow. Bring those hands to eagle arms, or arms to eagle arms. And just staying here or wrapping all the way around if that's available to you. And still pulling those shoulders down. And from here, we're going to inhale, just kind of open up towards the ceiling. Exhale, bring those hands forward, kind of like a cat, seated cat and cow. Inhale, up. This could be a very subtle, small motion. It doesn't have to be big. Exhale, round the back, and just one more time. Inhaling, bring those arms up. Exhale, round the shoulders, round the back. Inhale, release those arms. Just shake out those arms a little bit. We're gonna reach out, up. We're gonna pull those elbows down, almost to like a W, and then just reach them back up. You really feel that stretch in the front of your shoulders and your arms. Exhale, or pull the elbows down. Inhale, or reach those arms up. And gently bring those hands to the back of the head, and then just guide that chin towards the chest. So just the weight of the hands is just kind of lengthening the back of the neck just a little bit more. Just always careful with the neck. And release, we'll reach those arms out, and again, strong through the arms. Open up those palms, and we'll bring that left arm on top this time. Give yourself a hug, pull those shoulders down. Once again, lengthen through the back of the neck. You should feel really good on the backs of the shoulders, especially if you're doing desk work on the neck. We're still lifting up through the crown of our head, nice long spine. Soften your gaze. And I'll bring that elbow to the inside of the right elbow. And then once again, staying here, wrapping all the way around. And we're gonna inhale, just open up to the ceiling a little bit. It doesn't have to be far. Exhale, we'll round the shoulders, come forward. Inhale, come back. And exhale, pulling that navel in, rounding the shoulders. One more time. Inhale. And exhale. Inhale, lengthen, let those arms free and just shake those out. We're gonna inhale. Actually, we're gonna inhale up the arms, bring those hands behind the ears, we're gonna reach up. And I'm just gonna bring that right arm down, just reach over, reach through those left fingertips again. Once again, from that, really grounding down through that left hip and then reaching all the way through those left fingertips. So up and over. It doesn't have to be that far. Maybe you're coming all the way down to this elbow. Try to keep both those hips on the mat. And inhale up, we'll reach. Exhale, come to the other side. Reach those right fingertips. Pressing down, grounding down through that right hip. Finding where you're at here. And inhale, come back up. Exhale, other side. This time we're gonna roll kind of our chest towards the ceiling, taking that thumb towards the back of the room. Get that gaze up towards the ceiling, gentle heart opener. And gently release. Bring that left hand to the knee. We're gonna bring that right hand behind us. So we're really lifting through those shoulders, to that chest, grounding down for that tailbone, and we'll take that gentle gaze towards the back of the room, gentle twist. So not cranking yourself. You really want to lift and turn. So it doesn't have to be, you don't have to go on, your gaze doesn't have to go all the way to the back of the room. More importantly, you're just lifting out, lifting up through the top of the head, the crown. That imaginary string is pulling up on the exhalation, taking your gaze to the back, stretching out all those muscles around the spine. Inhalation, lengthen, exhalation, twist. And release. We're gonna unwind slowly. Or come down on that left hand, reach over, spin open. Right thumb comes towards the back of the room, open up that chest. Bring your awareness back to your breath, returning to the breath if it's wandered away. So breathing into the belly. And release, we'll bring that hand down. Left hand comes behind. Inhale up, lifting up through those shoulders. Gently take that gaze to the back of the room. Strong to that core, so pulling that navel, lifting up. And the inhalation, we're creating space in between those vertebrae, and the exhalations, twisting. Once again, not wrenching yourself into that twist. And release, we'll gently unwind. So from here, we are going to bring the soles of the feet together. You can bring them out here. Bring those hands to the feet. You can give your feet a massage here. Take a nice tall breath in, and then we're gonna bring our nose down towards the floor in front of us, pressing those knees away from the body. Lengthen through the back of the neck. Soften through those hip flexors. Just one more breath here. Pressing those knees towards the mat, towards the floor. Inhale up, lengthen that right leg. Keep that left foot towards the center, bring that into your right thigh. And we're going to turn towards our right leg. We're going to reach up, bring those hands underneath behind those ears again, just reaching up. Make sure you're turned towards that lengthened leg. Nose come forward. So we're active through this right leg, almost like we're pulling that femur back into our hip, pressing down through the back of that knee, sucking up this kneecap. And bring our nose down to our knee, to our shin. Maybe you're grabbing the foot, or maybe you have some sort of yoga strap. You can grab that, wrap that around the ball of your foot. And then breathe. And release. From here, bring that left hand down. We're just going to reach over. Just open up through that right side one more time. Maybe a little deeper this time. Maybe come down all the way to that elbow. And bring that arm down. We'll come back to center. Inhale up. And just switch legs. So we're pointing these toes up to the sky, engaging this femur, pulling this back in towards our hip. We're going to reach up through those arms to the sky, rotate, and then come down. Hinge at that hip, grab the shin, ankle, foot. Take that nose towards the shin. We're lengthening through the back of the neck. Engaging that left leg. And just a few more easy breaths here. Release, gently come up, we'll bring that right hand down. We're gonna reach over that left arm, come down all the way to the elbow. You don't have to, just finding where you can open up through that left side. And then just bring that left arm down and around. We'll come up and then we'll lengthen that right leg. You can keep these knees bent a little bit, they don't have to be straight. We just want those toes up to the sky. We still want those legs engaged. And then we're gonna bring our hands out in front of us. Hinge at the hips. We do not have to come very far. Just walk out to where you're comfortable. Where you feel that stretch, it should feel good, not too intense. Still sucking up those kneecaps. And walk those hands back up. We'll bring those legs out in front of us. And just about a little bit more than hip width apart. And we'll just kind of rock those knees from side to side. Bring our hands up behind us. And then just drop them to the right. So take a nice long spine. Just take a pause, take a breath here. And bring those knees back up. Let's drop to the other side. I'm just pausing here, take a breath. Close your eyes for a moment, breathe into the belly. Come back to the breath, come back to the moment. And release, come back up. From here, we're gonna take that intense kind of hip stretch. So you kind of probably know where your stance is about now. Maybe it's longer, maybe it's shorter. We're gonna push up those hips, bring that right ankle on top of that left knee, and then come back down. Maybe bring those arms further away, foot further forward. You're feeling really stretchy, flexible, shortening up that stance, scooching in those hands and foot just closer to center. We're pressing that right knee away, keeping that right foot flexed, and softening to that right hip. Maybe just rocking just a little bit from side to side, releasing through that hip, releasing that tension. Deep breath here, nice even deep breaths. And we'll release. And for the other side, we're gonna lift up those hips, bring that ankle up to that knee. Finding that length in your stance. Pressing that left knee away from the body. Flexing that left foot. And breathing into that left hip. And release, bring that foot down. And you can just cross your legs and we'll come forward into a tabletop. Bringing those wrists underneath your shoulders. Hips underneath your knees, over your knees. And pressing down to the tops of those feet. Strengthening that core, spreading out those fingers. We're pressing up. And from here, I'm going to inhale, push that belly down. Pull those shoulders back, open up that heart. Exhale. I'm going to tuck the tailbone, roll those shoulders, pull that chin in towards that chest. Inhale, push that belly down. Exhale, tuck the tailbone, tuck the chin. With your own pace, we're just going to go a few more rounds, just taking that cat and cow, inhaling on the cow, exhaling on the cat. Come back to a neutral position. You bring those hands a little bit further. We're just going to go ahead and kind of push those hips out to either side. Maybe in like a circular motion, or just releasing. Lengthening the hips, giving our hips extra attention. And coming up, we'll kind of take a circular motion over those wrists, give them some stretch. And from here, I'm gonna press those right toes, tuck those right toes, gentle stretch through that calf muscle, keeping those fingers spread out. Bend that right leg, lift up. We're lifting through that hamstring. We're pulling up that navel into the spine. Just one breath here. And release. Inhale, and then exhale, bring that left heel back. I'm gonna soften through that left calf muscle, back and forth a few times. And we're going to bend that left knee, lift up through that hamstring. And release down. We're just going to start to soften our heart down towards this mat. Reaching forward, press those palms. We don't have to come all the way down. We're just going to bring our heart and forehead towards the mat. And come up, bring those hips over those knees. We're just going to slide that right arm underneath that left arm. Bring that shoulder down. Let that shoulder melt into the mat. Just release. Breathe into the belly. And then that left arm, we're going to press up. Just reach forward with that right hand, and then we'll slide that left arm under, thread the needle, bring that shoulder down, and reach forward with that right arm. Let that shoulder melt. And bend that right arm. We're going to press up and down to our belly. Bring those hands underneath the shoulders. We're pressing everything down into the mat. And we're going to peel up that chest. Press down to the palms. Just careful with your lower back. If this hurts, just skip it. Strengthening to the back, pressing down to the hip points, pubic bone, legs, tops of the feet. And release. Bring those arms out to the side. Bring that right cheek down to the mat. Let go for a few breaths. Bend those knees and just window wash those feet. Loosen up the back. And then drop those legs. Bring those hands underneath the shoulders. We're going to press up, come into tabletop, and then from tabletop, we're going to tuck those toes, spread out those palms, and then send those hips back, come into downward facing dog. Heels can be up off the mat. Gonna go ahead and alternate those heels, or walk the dog. Keeping that neck and head in a nice straight line with the spine. Your ears should be by your biceps. Breathe into the belly. You keep your knees in a bend, in a micro bend, or even a little bit bent. And we're going to walk with those feet up to the hands. From here, you can take your feet just a little bit wider than your hips. Grab those elbows and just sway from side to side. Can shake out that neck. Nod yes. Shake your head no. So then the top part of the body just release. We're strong through the legs. Drop those hands. Just bring those heel to those feet back into hip width. Coming to that forward fold. You can just tent those hands. Work them all the way down. Letting that blood flow to the heart just for a breath or two. Pressing through all four corners of those feet. Inhale, slide those hands up to the shins, gaze forward, lift up to the belly. And we're going to exhale, bring those hands down. And then we're going to step that left foot back and come into a low lunge. Lift through that hamstring, strong through these legs. Bring that back knee down. Keep those toes curled or flatten that foot. Press down to the top of that foot. Press down that left palm. Inhale, take a gentle twist. Exhale, come back down. And then from here, bring those hands to the top of that knee. An option to stay down here or come here. Softening to the front of that left hip, pulling back through that right hip crease. You can always scooch that right foot forward if you want a deeper stretch. And bring those hands downward. Come into that runner stretch. All right. Lengthening through the top of our head, hinging at the hips. The toes point up towards the ceiling. Trying to keep that left hip over that left knee. Connect with the breath. And from here, bring those hips forward. We're going to tuck those back toes again. And then we're going to straighten both those legs, come into that pyramid pose. So you can have those feet hip width apart. Finding the distance between the feet where you can really press both those feet into the mat. Come down on your fingertips. If you have something like blocks, you can always use those. That helps. We're just pressing into that mat, still doing that apart. And then release. We're going to bend that front knee and then come into warrior one. So just bringing up those arms, pull those shoulders down. And release the arms. We're going to straighten those legs, bring those feet pointed out to the side. Outside edges of the feet are parallel with the edges of the mat. Inhale, lengthen. And exhale, come forward. Bring those hands down. We're sucking up those knees, pressing into those feet. You can stay here or you can grab those ankles and pull your forehead down towards the floor. Try to keep those hips over those ankles, so try not to sway back. Go and do this more like this. And go ahead and bring that left hand right underneath that face. We're gonna reach up with that right arm. And exhale back down. Pick that right hand where that left hand is. Inhale up. And exhale down. Then from here, we'll just walk our hands to the other side, coming to a lunge with that left foot in front this time, lifting up through that right hamstring. And then release that knee down. And drop that right hand. Inhale, gentle twist here. And exhale, back down. And then staying here, or you can come here. Switch that left foot forward if you like. We're pressing into the top of that right foot. Soften through the hips. Deep, even breaths. And release those hands down, pull those hips back. Lengthen through the crown of the head, and then we'll come forward, toes up towards the ceiling. Left hip over that left, or right hip over that right knee. Soften through the back of that left foot. And release, and bring those hips forward. Tuck those toes, we'll come into that pyramid pose again. So we're just finding the distance that you need between those feet, pressing into those feet. Split that mat apart. Nose towards the shin, lengthen through the back of the neck. Breathe into that belly. And then we'll come into that warrior one. So inhale up, bend that front knee. Reach up through those arms. Pull the shoulders down. And release back down. Bring that left foot to meet that right foot. Downward facing dog. Just for a breath here. And then bring those knees down. We're going to just work our way into a seated position with those legs out in front of us. Press down through those sit bones. Lift up through the crown of the head. Inhale up, and then we'll come forward. Just grab those shins, ankles, feet. So pressing down through the backs of those knees. Pulling that heart towards the feet, toes towards the ceiling. And release. From here, I'm going to come quickly into a boat pose. Grab the backs of those hamstrings or reach forward. Just a few easy breaths here, engaging that core. And release, roll forward. And then from here, just gonna grab the backs of those hamstrings and roll to our back. Here, to roll a few times, move from side to side. Grab the tops of those knees, pull those in and up. And bring our arms up up to a T and just drop those knees to the right side of the body. Try to keep both of those shoulders on the mat. Really straighten that top leg. Take that gaze opposite direction, like a deeper stretch. And then just release into that stretch. Breathe deep into the belly. And pull those knees back into the chest. And we'll just drop them to the other side. Release into that stretch. Keep that right shoulder on the mat. And pull those knees back into the center. We'll drop those feet. Feet are hip width apart. We're going to press to all four corners. We're going to press those arms into the mat and then push those hips up towards the ceiling. We're engaging those glutes, those hamstrings. With every inhalation, those hip points go closer to the ceiling. And release down. Pull those knees up to the ceiling, up towards the chest. Grab the outsides of those feet, happy baby. Bring those armpits, knees in towards the armpits. You can go from side to side here with that lower back to kind of release towards the mat. Soften through your face. And release, hug those knees in. Take those feet down. And then for me, we're going to bring that right ankle on top of that left knee. Press that right knee away from the body. Stay here or grab the back of that left hamstring. Just here for a few breaths. Maybe straighten that leg. See if that feels different kind of stretch. Softening through that hip. And release down. We'll switch legs. Flex that left foot. Stay here or grab the back of that right hamstring. Press that left knee away. Soften through that hip. Breathe into that tight area. Just straighten that leg, feel like here. And release that right foot down. Release that left foot down. And then straighten those legs. We get into a position for Shavasana. So whatever helps you release into the mat. Maybe laying down on the blanket, putting one over you, maybe something under your head. They're going to help you lengthen the back of your neck. Bring those ankles towards the edges of the mat. Let those feet flop out to the sides. Arms away from the body. Open up those palms to the ceiling. Right, inhale. Deep inhalation, exhale. Sink into the mat. Let everything go. Gently close the eyes. And start to follow the breath. Take our awareness inward. Observe the breath. Watch as it enters your body and as it exits. Notice that ebb and flow of the breath. Breathing in relaxation. And the exhalation, releasing into the mat. And start to soften through the face. Let those muscles around the eyes soften. Muscles in the cheeks. Let that tummy loose the mouth. The jaw releases. Let the whole face just soften. Feel that relaxation travel back up the forehead towards the scalp, back of the head, the ears, sides of the head. Soften through that neck, the back of the neck, the sides, the front. And that next exhalation, we're going to let those shoulders just melt into the mat. And releasing and softening those biceps, those triceps, forearms, palms, fingers. The arms soften and melt. All the muscles in the back widen and soften. The lower back, the hips melt. Those hamstrings soften and widen. Quads feel heavy. Or soften through the back of the knees. Let those calf muscles just release, widen and spread. Let those feet feel heavy. Toes, heels, ankles, release. Whole body just melts into the mat. Just continue to follow that breath. We're inhaling relaxation. On the exhalation, we're just releasing a little bit more into the mat. Just releasing into that pose. And start to bring your awareness back to your body. You can wiggle your fingers and your toes. Just rock your head from side to side. Take a big breath. And bend those knees. Just roll slowly into the right side of your body. And slowly press yourself up into a seated position. Bring your hands to heart center. Namaste. And thank you so much for joining me today. I hope you have a great weekend, and I hope to see everyone on Monday.